Ooh, look at what I have. You guys already know what this is. You cheating like crazy and read the title. It's apparently the only way you'll watch my videos. But anyway, it's okay. I forgive you guys. Look at those. These are one of the hardest plants to grow. Not because they're hard to grow, but because it's almost impossible to get fresh beans to grow them. And in case you didn't read the title, kudos to you for just clicking on my videos because you love them so much. These are coffee plants or coffee seedlings sprouting. Look at that. Crazy. Look at all them little coffee plants getting ready to grow. And coffee cherries, coffee beans you get from the cherries, need to be really fresh to grow. They can't really dry out or they're not viable. They literally need to go right out of the cherry, the fruit, which is edible by the way, and into moist soil. And then they take about 2, 3, 4, sometimes even 6 months to sprout. They like it warm, they like it damp but not wet. And they'll just take their sweet time to sprout. But when they do, they sprout really easily. But they gotta be fresh. And it is impossible, really, to get fresh beans. Unless you find somebody that has their own plant and ships you moist seeds, you're not gonna get them. They can't dry out. Tried for years to grow coffee and, But anyway, I've grown coffee for years. And I don't drink coffee. Coffee tastes like crap, guys. I don't understand the appeal of bitter, burnt water with, mind stimulating effects that gives me a headache. I don't care for coffee or caffeine, really. Do my kombucha any day, but everybody else does. So, I always get asked about coffee, and Florida is a black hole right now of monoculture. They want something to fill that hole. Citrus is gone, blueberries are gone, peaches are gone. They have nothing. So they are scrambling like crazy to find something to fill that hole, and they're trying to plug that hole with coffee. Yes, guys. Florida wants to become known for coffee. It's the next big thing. Everybody's jumping around trying to procure coffee plants to grow coffee in Florida. Coffee prices currently are skyrocketing. So, all them farmers are seeing dollar signs and they want to find a coffee they'll grow here in Florida. The problem is, Florida gets cold, guys. You may not know this if you don't live in Florida. But literally just a few days ago, my property was under a sheet of ice with wind chills, in the low 20s, if not the teens. Yeah, so there you go. By the way, coffee does not like that at all. So, major issue, right? So they're scrambling, they're wanting to grow coffee in greenhouses and all this stuff, high tunnels, literally just to throw tons of money at a crop they will never make that money back from. It's a big thing with farmers, apparently, is you take out millions of dollars of loans and you grow a crop that you will never see even a little tiny percentage of a return on that crop. Go figure. And coffee's going to be one of those, apparently. But I have been growing coffee for years. And these seeds are actually from a beautiful tree at the house that I grew up in down in Lake Wales. And it's loaded with coffee cherries. Has survived multiple nasty, nasty winters here in Florida. And honestly, it's a sickly little burnt, ugly tree. But it grows tons of coffee cherries. And so every winter, because coffee ripens in the winter, here in the Florida, in our hemisphere, normally get coffee cherries November, December. I get a bunch of seed, I sprout it, These seeds are from November, so it took them November, December, January. We're February now, so about 3 months to sprout with temperatures constantly. These guys were on a heat mat for 3 months at 85 degrees, around there. Pretty warm, 85, 90 degrees to sprout that fast. And beautiful, beautiful. Look at that. And, but anyway, I do that. I let them grow like this for a few weeks. Then I transplant them into cups and I put them out, let them grow, and then I leave them out to the elements. That's how much I hate coffee, guys. I don't hate coffee. I just don't care for it. So that's not true. I love coffee, guys. Don't disown me. I love coffee. But I take those little coffee plants and, yeah, they either survive the winter and get nice and cold and frozen, or they die. And thus I've done for a few years in the hopes of getting a nice, rugged coffee that is adapted to Central Florida and possibly, hopefully, has some cold tolerance. Yes, that would be the ultimate goal, guys, is to have a productive, very cold tolerant coffee plant. So far, I have not had any coffee plants, seedlings, that can survive a hard frost. They can survive a light frost, which is anywhere from 34 to 32 degrees, you know what I mean? They can survive that with some burnt leaves and they'll regrow, but we get much colder than that in some years. Normally every other year we get a pretty hard blast of cold like we did this year. Last year, we had just a few mild frosts. This year, we've frozen 6, 7 times, so, you know, it's what it is. But coffee doesn't like it. But if you want it to be a viable crop, it's got to learn to love that weather. And that's what we're working on. So, there you guys go. If you're interested in coffee and my horrible videos, thank you for watching. And we'll see how this batch goes. But coffee plants, yeah. And by the way, they grow very quickly. From seedling to fruiting is normally only 2 or 3 years. If you really take care of them, if they've got really good soil, you really pump them full of fertilizer and nutrients, they'll start flowering very quickly. So it doesn't take that long to start producing from a seedling. Pretty cool though, huh? Look at those guys. Very, very interesting crop. It's crazy that so many people go crazy for a burnt bean to give them, you know, psychoactive stimulation. Is that what you would call it? What are you gonna do? You filthy drug addicts, you gotta have your caffeine, right? I guess even if it tastes like burnt, nasty water. We'll just leave it at that, right? Not that I'm putting down coffee, guys.